I'm Ethan.
I'm Olivia.
I'm Matt.
I'm Xavier.
And this is Lavender. So the basic idea behind Lavender is it's a journaling web application that tracks the user's habits and correlates that to their general well-being. In the future, Lavender will go on to produce analytics and graphs that represent this data that the users entered. So initially, we have just a few accomplishments to discuss. The first one being the connection of the database, the SQL database, to the main code. Inside the main code, we've been able to have a prototype UI that's on the command prompt line. There, we are able to establish classes that create users' logins and enable them to answer survey questions and other daily features. We've also been able to establish a hashing method for password encryption, but have yet to implement that inside our code.
Okay, so I'm going to do a brief demonstration of our prototype UI in the terminal. The first option we have is whether to create a new user or log in as an existing user. For now, I'm going to create a new user. So we just have the user enter in some basic information. So now that the new user has been created and their information has been stored in the database, we can log them in as an existing user. And this will check the password for accuracy using the hashing method. Now we can see the user's home menu. So since this is a new user, they won't have any of the personalized questions on their questionnaire that an existing user would have. But we can press 1, and there is an empty menu. But if we press 2, we can add a question. So I'll just do test question 1. That's been added to the list of questions. So now when I go to answer them, I can see that, and I can enter in a response. I'll just do 3 for now. And then we can also log out of the application. We can also check existing users that are in the database from previous test runs and their passwords logged them in successfully. So I'll just log out for now.
The current class diagram for our project. As of right now, there are 4 classes: the app class, the question class, the user class, and the connector class. The app class runs the application and will call the other classes. It contains a user object and a question object. It will show the startup menu, verify login, prompt for a new user, and give a menu to an existing user. Additionally, whenever any type of login is done, this will be passed to the hash function, as none of the passwords will be stored in plain text. The user class was made to contain user information such as a username, password, first name, last name, user ID, and an email. The question class contains operations on questions like ask the question, add a question, remove a question, and read responses. And the connector class allows the application to talk to the database so that it can send and receive data. In the future, this class will have to expand in order to accommodate the different kinds of data that will be fed through it to the database. Additionally, we have a sequence diagram that describes how some of the processes in our current iteration work. We will have user login that connects to the main program, which then connects to the database using the connector class. Then the user is verified, and if the login information was correct, it returns a successful login. After login, questions are sent from the database to the main program and then to the user, and answering questions takes the same route but in the opposite direction. Lastly, adding a new question follows the same route as answering questions. Originally, when we started the project, we were going to make this an Android app, but in the interest of time, we have decided that we will instead make this a web app. This stemmed from testing concerns as only one of our members has an Android phone. So moving forward, we have plans to create a UI using Django. We are going to implement the analytics and graphing feature, and we also have a journaling feature that we would like to interpret text.